completely drunk. I mean, he was slurring his speech. He really just wasn't like in the right frame of mind. I mean, like to even talk about listing his house. I get there and this guy is on the phone and he's like screaming at somebody this whole time, right? As I walk in. Then he gets off the phone and he seems like the nicest guy ever, right? We start talking about listing his home, and I don't really know how we got on this topic, but he starts bringing up like the war in the Middle East. He's talking about Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna have 3 parts. The first part will be what you can expect in your first 30 days. The second part will be what I experienced in my first 30 days. And the third part will be kind of what I wish I would have done differently or what I learned, right? And then I'll have all the timestamps below. I'll try not to make it too long, but I did want to update you guys on what's going on in my business. So as you know, if you've watched my past 2 videos, I had a listing that I almost had and I missed out on it because I failed to call. And then I interviewed with another listing last week on Thursday, right? And it's now next week, Thursday. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I sent them a quick text, like just following up. Hopefully I get that one. And then yesterday I went on this preview appointment, and I'm going to list his house on Saturday, right? So I don't want to say that I have the listing yet, seeing as, it's Thursday right now, and that appointment's on Saturday, for us to fill out the paperwork, and I should get it on the MLS. But there's like a 95% chance that I have that listing, right? So it's really exciting, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. And I'll probably make a video, about my first listing and how I got it and how that all went down. It's definitely going to be a fun video, so when that comes out, be sure to look out for that. This guy is a character, to say the least. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in the business right now. Let's just get into this, and I'll tell you guys exactly what you can expect your first 30 days in the business. I almost forgot to say, I want to have a Q&A video sometime next week. So if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments below, or just DM me on Instagram, and I'll try and answer those in the Q&A next week. Right? So I just wanted to put that out there. So now let's get into what you can expect your first 30 days in the business. Alright, so here's kind of what you can expect your first 30 days. First, you're probably going to have a lot of mandatory trainings. If your brokerage is anything like mine, they have a program in place where they'll walk you through how to, do listing agreement, purchase agreement, seller's property condition disclosures, agency disclosures, open houses, you name it, they'll probably teach you that, and you've got to attend some of those trainings. Secondly, you're probably going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, and you're going to be asking for a lot of help. That's completely normal because, in your pre-license classes, they don't really teach how to sell real estate. They teach you vocabulary and how to not get sued, pretty much, and like license law, right? So once you get in, you really don't know about selling real estate. So that's where you're going to be asking for a lot of help. You're going to be reaching out to your brokers a lot, right? And that's completely normal. Third, you're going to have a lot of people wasting your time, right? I mean, just this past week, I drove an hour out of town to meet with somebody about listing their house, and I arrived there, and this guy's a little bit late. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So he pulls up, but he's like completely drunk. I mean, he was slurring his speech. He really just wasn't like in the right frame of mind. I mean, like to even talk about listing his house, right? So, we had fun though. We had some fun conversations, but the thing is, I wasted an hour driving there thinking we were going to talk about listing his house, and then I wasted an hour driving back. So that's about 2 hours out of my day, that was wasted. And it doesn't happen all the time, but, it happens every now and then, right? You're going to be meeting some very unique people, right? As you're cold calling, you're going to run into some people that'll cuss you out over the phones. You're going to run into some people that think you're trying to cheat them and mislead them, steal their money. Let's see, just yesterday, actually, I was on this listing appointment with somebody. Let me think. I get there, and this guy is on the phone, and he's like screaming at somebody this whole time, right, as I walk in. Then he gets off the phone, and he seems like the nicest guy ever, right? We start talking about listing his home, and I don't really know how we got on this topic. But he starts bringing up like the war in the Middle East. He's talking about Al-Qaeda and ISIS and trying to, he's trying to get me to start talking about it. But I'm like, can we just, go back to talking about, about listing your home and what it's going to take to get it sold. So you're going to have a lot of different people that you meet. That's something that you really got to expect going in. And you can really expect to not really be making any money in like your first couple months. That's completely normal. A lot of agents like a lot of agents, I mean, like they don't really close their first transaction for a few months after they're licensed. It's completely normal. You just have to expect that, have some money saved up, or you have to be working a second job. On top of that, you're probably going to be spending a lot more money on the little things that you never really thought about. And what I mean is gas, haircuts, all those little monthly fees that add up. Definitely spending a lot more money on gas and haircuts than I thought I would. If you're cold calling like me, you'll probably be trying out some different things. I was trying out different CRMs, email automation, like different data services and dialer stuff, and all that kind of stuff really adds up. Plus you got your MLS fees, your realtor fees, your lockbox fees, all that kind of stuff. And if that's a video that you guys want me to make, like all the fees that I paid and what I'm paying monthly, let me know. I can definitely make something on that, right? So that's pretty much what you can expect. So now let's talk about what my first 30 days were like so you can see exactly what I went through. Okay, so I was licensed on November 10th, but we'll base this off of November 20th because that's when I started working, right? So as soon as I got licensed and as soon as I signed up with my brokerage and started working on the 20th, I was making my phone calls right away. I think I did the first phone calling session from home because I was too scared to go into the brokerage to do my phone calls. Rightfully so, because I sounded like I could barely speak English on that, like on those first couple phone calls. So after I started making my phone calls, I started this YouTube channel pretty quickly. First video I put out was on Thanksgiving. That was a day in the life video, which by the way is at like 3,000 views, which is nuts. And let's see, I also had a lot of mandatory trainings with with my broker, teaching me about listing agreements, purchase contracts, like all those disclosures and like addendums that I needed to learn. And as far as results, here's what my first 30 days have looked like. Or I guess we'll go from when I started working up until now. So I've set about 35 preview appointments. I've gone on 3 listing appointments. It'll be, or actually I've gone on 4 listing appointments, right? So I set 35 previews. I've only gone on about 10 or 11 of those, mostly because they're FSBOs, so they end up selling on their own a lot of the time, like before I can even get to the preview with them. So I've gone on about 10 to 12 preview appointments. I've gone on 4 listing appointments, 1 last week and 1 yesterday. The one yesterday will probably list with me this Saturday when we're meeting up again. The one from last week, I'm still waiting to hear back from them. So that's kind of where I've been results-wise. I also spent a lot of time setting up my social media things, which regrettably I haven't really been using as I should. I spent a lot of time setting up my back-end stuff like my CRM, my email follow-ups, like that kind of thing. So that's pretty much what my first 30 days looked like. A lot of cold calling, a lot of preview appointments, listing appointments, some trainings with my brokerage. Besides that, and then starting my YouTube channel. But besides that, that's pretty much what my first 30 days looked like up until now. So now it's looking like I might have a listing or 2 coming up pretty soon, hopefully by this weekend. So now let's kind of talk about what I wish I would have done differently or what I learned from when I got licensed up until now. I wish I would have spent a lot more time prospecting. That's something that I really needed to get down, and that's something that I'm working on this year a lot. I'm really focusing on FSBOs. I'm not really hitting any other avenue of cold calling because I'm really killing it with FSBOs right now. But I could work harder on the FSBOs, I could be calling them twice a day, like if they don't pick up, call them back later in the day. I need to spend more time prospecting, and that's something that I wish I would have done in the previous 30 to 45 days, right? I feel like I would have set more appointments. I may have already had a listing by now. I wish I would have gotten my daily schedule set up a lot sooner. I've got a daily schedule that I follow now, but if I had started that my first couple weeks, I would have been in a lot better place. I would have learned how to manage my time better. If you guys want a video on what my daily schedule looks like, please let me know. I'll be happy to make one. I wish I would have spent the time when I first started setting up all of my back-end systems first, so then that way when I'm prospecting and actually going on appointments, everything is just automated and I don't have to worry about it. I know exactly what to do when a lead comes in. I spent a lot of time getting all of those things set up, while I also had to manage, like the people that were already in my database, manage going on appointments, it was just a lot at once, and I wish I had done that when I first started, so it would have been stress-free from there on. But lastly, I guess I wish I would have started this YouTube channel sooner. We've been growing like crazy, I know that. We're already at like 450 something, I think, subscribers, and I want to hit 1,000 by the end of the month, which is a pretty lofty goal, but I feel like we can get there. Right. I wish I would have started it sooner. I wish I would have started it when I was taking my pre-license classes, so you could see like what my exam prep looked like. So you could see the events leading up to me getting licensed. Right. That's the only regret that I have with YouTube. I wish I would have started it sooner. So I mean, in the end, you can't really go back and change anything. What I learned is it's not as easy as HGTV. I think I kind of knew that going in. But it's a simple business. You know, if you spend your time prospecting, you'll be just fine. You know, like if you spend a couple hours a day prospecting, if you're really dedicated to going out there and getting business, you'll be fine. It's a simple business. You just have to prospect. You just have to go out there and lead generate, right? At first, it'll be overwhelming, but you'll have your brokers there to help you. You just have to figure out how you're going to get your business. And then from there, if you have any questions about what to do once you've got your business, then that's where your brokers can come in. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to see any specific videos, please let me know. And don't forget to leave your questions down below for the Q&A. Watch my other day in the life videos so you can see what it's like day in the life. And watch my last video talking about how I prospect so you can see me actually calling for sale by owners and setting some appointments. So thank you for watching and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.